Today I'm going to be talking about these guys. This is a brace, this is a bit, together, brace and bit. So there's multiple bits that you can get for these. This is the most common. This is like a typical Jennings bit. You do have countersinks. There is actually screwdriver bits that go into these. There's quite a lot of things. I personally don't use the rest of them. I only typically use the bit itself for drilling holes. I don't tend to use anything else with it. So these are quite simple to use. You basically put it in and you tighten it up and you're ready to go. There's quite a lot of these that have a ratchet, which actually does come in handy. You wouldn't think so, but it does actually come in handy sometimes when you're using a large bit. So are they any good? They tend to get shunned quite a lot for various reasons. One of the reasons is probably the invention of this guy. Obviously these are great, there's no disputing that, but do they replace these? I like to say they don't replace these, because these can be actually quite quick. So another problem is that people use a brace and bit and they use it with a blunt bit. So some of the problems with the bits that you tend to find on flea markets and stuff is that the threads at the top, the screw portion, it's in bad condition. Some of the threads have been filed. Sometimes there can be thicker paint. I don't know how and why there's paint on them. The cutting edge, the slicing edge, this portion here, that can actually be flat, not sharpened as well. And the front edge that hogs out a lot of the material, that can actually be damaged. So there is actually quite a large difference in using a blunt bit and using a sharp bit. That's pretty much common sense when you think about it. It's the same as a plane. If you use a blunt plane and you use a sharp plane iron, it's a night and day comparison. And the same thing with this. So which one is better? I think they're both good. I think they've both got merit. However, this can run out. This will never run out. and that's why I think it's always handy to have one of these at hand. You go to a flea market, you probably pick one of these up for maybe, I've seen them as cheap as £1, and I've seen them for £20 with the brace and bits and a full set of bits. So if you keep your eyes open, you can actually get one of these quite cheap. So which of these is quicker? I am actually going to put these head to head, and I'm going to drill through this section of oak. This is a European oak and it is 22mm thick. So first up, I'm going to compare the 3/4 inch with the 3/4 inch spade bits and see how these fare. And next, I'm going to put it head to head with the 1/2 inch and the 1/2 inch regular drill bit. As you can see, the drill won the competition hands down, but was it really that much quicker? Obviously, if you've got 100 holes to drill, it's a no-brainer. Use a cordless drill. So another thing to note with the cordless drill and the bits for the cordless drill, they're actually a little bit cleaner only because they're literally brand new. They've never been used before. So whereas you see with the brace and bit, it isn't actually as clean, but that's not how you should use a brace and bit. You should drill a portion of it down till the screw section comes out the other end, turn the board over and then drill from the opposite end. That way it's a nice clean cut. So how should you use one of these? What I actually see people doing is using it like this, kind of at that height, say at a tall bench, and it's really no good because you can't get no weight on it. So two methods that are effortless are as follows. So the first method is my preferred method. I do this with everything, and for me this is better suited for me. I position the drill bit to where I want it, and I'll either put it on my chest or I'll put it next to my chin. Either way, you're putting a lot of weight on it without even trying. So as you're drilling, I think it is quite easy, at least for me, to gauge from my left to my right. One of the problems tends to be to gauge it square this way. So what you can do as you're drilling, just check it with a square, and that's going to give you a rough guide. Well, you're on square 90 degrees or you're not. And the same the other side. And if you're happy, proceed. And as I said before, as you're drilling, check for the screw portion sticking out the other end. Turn the board over. And that guarantees a nice clean hole. And it's the same again, you position the drill to where you want it. I'm using my belly, or you can use your chest depending on the height of what you're drilling. I'm keeping it in place with my hand. And same again, I'm just gently leaning on it, and I let the drill do the work. And then I'm through the other end. And there we are, a nice clean hole. One of the problems you might face while using a bracing bit, even though it is sharp, is that the bigger the bit, or at least the bigger the screw portion, these can sometimes get clogged up. So one of the things I like to do is either use some beeswax or some candle wax, a little tea light, perfect fit in your pocket, carry it around with you if you're going to be using these throughout the day. And you just put a little bit on the screw portion, and this helps to stop it from clogging up. This actually does work, but you do have to keep on reapplying it. One of the problems you'll have with these, the larger you go, is that they'll become increasingly difficult to actually turn. So with this guy here, and I use this, and this bit's 1 1/4 inch. If I use this with this bracing bit, this is actually the only bracing bit I've got, and I will actually struggle. With this. It's really tough to turn this. Ideally, I want a bigger brace, which actually takes the handle out further and gives you more leverage. So I am actually looking for one of these, keep my eyes open for one of these at a flea market and such. So this is probably where the ratchet can come in handy for a lot of people. You can actually power through, but it can be pretty tough. As you can imagine, if the larger ones are harder to turn, the smaller ones are actually, you can go through timber with these, and that can be a little bit of a problem because you can actually burst through the wood very easy with smaller bits. Me personally, I don't tend to use the smaller bits. The smallest I go is 1/2 inch. After I go under 1/2 inch, I tend to just use a regular drill bit. Okay guys, that's it for this video. So if you like what you've seen, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, share the video, and until the next time, I shall see you later.